Sarah, all day. Hell yeah.
Armwrestling's about to take place.
Yeah.
Adam, what's next for you? Who do you, if you got to pick your next match at East versus West, who would it be? And then my second question would be, if you had to pick somebody in North America, who would your dream match in North America be?
Whew, okay. Well, those are hard questions for me to answer. But at East versus West, I mean, it's hard. I feel like right now, let me preface it with, right now, I personally don't feel like I'm in any spot to be calling out anybody or seeking any match at any promotion. That's just, I don't know if undeserving, for lack of better terms. I mean, I feel like I have some work to do, but a good match, I think, at East versus West would maybe be myself and Davit at 85, because I know that he doesn't want to go up to 95 or even 90. I think that would be a really good match, just talking from a fan perspective, we have similar opponents. We've both been kind of climbing. In North America, well, I mean, truthfully, my dream match is already set. We have a 12-man invitational round robin going on in October, and that invitational was for the top 12 guys in the rankings, and most of those guys are in there. I mean, you're missing Dan and you're missing Brandon. I think those guys already had obligations, or I know not everybody can, make stuff like that. But
And you're talking about Dan Mosier and Brandon Elsesser, correct?
Yeah, Mosier and Brandon Elsesser. They're not going to be able to make it, but it's myself.
And what weight class is that, and where is that?
That is 198 pounds, and that is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Or is it open?
And what's the exact date on that?
The 21st of October.
And who's the organization throwing that?
That is Lorraine Jenkins. So Tennessee, Tennessee Armwrestling.
Can you give us a few of the guys that'll be competing in that 198 class?
Yeah. So it's myself and Chad Silver's coach is going to be in that as well. Craig Toulier, Dallas Langston, Eduardo Tiete, Jason Merlot, Robbie Russell, Bob Brown, Eli Bruhard. I know I'm missing some other guys, but the 12 guys are already set, and it's date is set. And when you talk about an opportunity to make a statement in North America, instead of having one match, you have a round robin with, a lot of top-ranked guys.
That's like the dream round robin right there. And what are you guys competing for? Is it for money? Is it just for ranking spots? What's the whole deal with that?
Well, kind of both. It's nice. So Lorraine's paying out. I think it's $1,700 to first place, maybe $1,000. He's paying all the way down to sixth place, so that's nice. And then also just to settle the rankings. I mean, guys have. I mean, I'll throw a shout out to Robbie Russell, because he's been wanting to face some of these top guys for a long time, and he feels like people are always running. And I mean, even I think, Paul, you were involved in that. The RVJ was going to throw that cock of the walk not too long ago. It was maybe a year or two ago.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay. Well, yeah, but
I did hear about that. That was supposed to be an amazing one.
Yeah. So I mean, there's been talk about like settling that 200-pound division for a long time, and I feel like it's always getting stirred up. So what better way to do it than to have a 12-man round robin? And hats off to Robbie for organizing that, taking the initiative.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I want to talk about that. I seen video not too long ago against you and Robbie Russell match, and kind of went back and forth. It looked like that Robbie almost had the pin on you, and then all of a sudden you came back. What happened that day, and how did that all come about? Was that in a tournament? Was that a super match?
Yes, that was a tournament. It was a Tennessee tournament. I forget what it was called, but it was one of those tournaments that, our whole team went to. And obviously it was in my preparation for Bacho. So I didn't really treat it. Those kind of tournaments, I don't really treat like big events. I almost use them for training purposes. So I'll go to them. I won't take any time off, and I'll go to them, and I won't pull my weight class, but I'll pull all the weight classes above me. And I mean, Robbie, he kind of does that too. I mean, he'll pull multiple weight classes. So we saw each other in the 220s and the 240 weight divisions. And Robbie's somebody that I've battled with back and forth. I mean, just what I said not too long ago about how I got the call and there's like 20 other guys that are deserving. I mean, he's one of them. We have always, since we had a super match in 2020, we have been neck and neck. I mean, we're just one of those guys where styles collide and we dig it out. So that was just one of those other times. And I think we pulled 5 times that day. 5 times. I mean, between the 2 weight divisions and the prelims and the finals, we pulled 5 times. I know the video of him. I mean, if that wasn't a pin, then maybe a quarter inch more, and it was. I mean, that's the video that kind of got out there. The rest of them weren't that close. They were still close, but they weren't that close.
Okay, and you got the wins on those other ones, I'm presuming?
Yeah. But he also had a super match though before. He pulled Ryan Ballinger in a 5-round super match. So, or best of 5 rather. So
both guys definitely weren't fresh at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he struggled much in a super match. He pretty much he took Ryan's hand, and I don't think it put much wear on his arm, but yeah, we both, you know, we both had a few rounds before we met up with each other, and he a couple more than I. So yeah.
I want to change subjects a little. I want to bounce
I
around.
wanted to ask one question, Paul. So, Adam, you mentioned a possible match, not a possible match, but you would like to see that happening, you versus Samushia. So, have you practiced or had a match against Craig Tullier or Brendan Elsasser, because both of them went against Samushia in past few months?
No, those are 2 guys who I've never pulled. I mean, not that. Let me rephrase. I mean, I think me versus Davit Samushia would be a good match. I'm not necessarily saying that's somebody that I'm going after or calling. But no, I have never. I mean, Brandon and I roomed together 2 weeks ago, so we of course casually gripped up, but never really pulled, and I've never pulled Craig.
Yeah.
And what did you
and
guys?
one more thing,
Sorry.
one last thing about this topic before we move on, Paul. You mentioned Paul Lynn versus Bacho may be a good match. I was also thinking about these matches, maybe Paul, maybe Rob Vigent Jr. So in that case, we've always heard that if you get beat by someone, you always want that guy to destroy everyone, so that just you can feel good about yourself. So in this case, he'll be going up against your teammate Paul. So what would you secretly hope for then? Would you want to see Bacho just destroy Paul, so that nobody knows how good that guy is, or would you want Paul to win, or a close match?
Look, my ego, I don't have an ego. It goes out the door. I know where I'm at. I know where I stand, and I know where I'm going. And if Paul and Bacho pulled, I am 130% behind Paul Lynn. I mean, he inspires me far more than anything, any of Bacho's future accomplishments could ever. So to see Paul Lynn take down the guy that I couldn't would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.